What is the relationship right now between Muslims and Christians here?
Well, I mean, we have lots of churches, none of them as, in a sense, as large a community as the community here. And we've tried to get Christians and Muslims to be friends, to understand each other. So from our side as a Christian community, we try to run courses that explain Islam and why the community is like it is, so that the fear and the ignorance, which then leads to intolerance and aggression, can be overcome. But I mean, we've only started, but it's a beginning.
Can we take a look at the mosque?
Oh, sure, yeah. Good friends here at the mosque and the leadership.
What's always extraordinary to me is that because I left Christianity and became a Muslim like Dr. Abdul Hakim, I never felt that I was abandoning Jesus.
No, sure.
You know, I really didn't. I did not feel I was giving up what was essential to me about the Christian faith. I felt, in a sense, I was enhancing, really, my Christianity by accepting another dispensation. I mean, I really saw it, and in a sense, I've really looked at myself, and in terms of my family, because I was raised in an Orthodox tradition, I've looked at myself as really not abandoning anything that my parents, for instance, taught me of those essential truths. But I, in a sense, adopted a Unitarian branch of Christianity, which Islam is simply an extension of that, because I think the Muslims have always seen Jesus.
We love him. We all love him.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the tragedy of the myth of the clash of civilizations, that the two stories can't overlap. But the reality is that the great stories of the Bible are also there in the Quran.
Yes.
The God of Moses
Abraham.
is the
God
God
of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob,
of the Quran. There are no two religions that are more closely interlocking. It was wonderful opportunities for building understanding, but the mutual misunderstanding and ignorance, it seems, has never been greater.
I mean, that's how I feel. I really feel that we in the West, we have just an immense amount to learn from the Islamic tradition, because it succeeded in doing certain things very early on that Christianity literally took almost 2,000 years to get to. I mean, the fact that this mosque was built in 1889 and that there were Muslims in the 17th century being killed for their faith and Catholics persecuted in the 19th century for their faith, and yet in the Muslim world we have Christians visiting the mosque in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ, when the Christians came and actually came into the mosque, and in one narration he allowed them to pray in the mosque. And then we know also that Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he went to the church in Jerusalem and refused to pray in it. The Christians actually offered, because he conquered the city, they offered him to pray in the mosque, and he said, I don't want to pray. And they asked him, why wasn't it permitted? And he said, no. But if I pray, I would fear that Muslims later would say, Omar prayed here, let's make it a mosque. And they would break the trust of protecting the church. And stories like this, which traditionally Muslims were they were nurtured on these stories.